Hello everyone. Welcome. Welcome to SV Union High School and Junior College. Our subject today is Geography Standard 6th. We are going to discuss chapter number 5, Temperature. To begin our explanation, let us start and try to understand this small activity given in our textbook. Do it yourself. Take a torchlight and keep it stable at a place. Take two large paper sheets, large enough to accommodate its entire beam. Paste the papers on two flat boards as shown in the slide above. Hold the board perpendicular to the beam as shown in figure A. Draw the outline of the area lit by the beam. Name the paper A. Now use the other paper. Hold it in such a way that it makes an angle of 120 degree with the beam as shown in the structure B. Draw the outline of the area occupied by the beam. Name the paper B. Observe both the papers A and B. Now let us answer the questions. On which paper does the beam occupy a larger area? The beam occupies larger area on the paper B, which is inclined at the angle of 120 degree along the direction of the beam. On which paper is the area smaller? The area of the torchlight beam is smaller on the paper A, where the beam falls perpendicular to the paper. Now change the angle between the beam of light and the paper. Observe the changes that occur in the area occupied by the beam of light. The area occupied by the beam on the paper changes with the change in the angle between the beam of the light and the paper. Next question. What is the relation between the angle of the paper and the area occupied by the beam? As the paper tends to become perpendicular to the beam, the area occupied by the beam becomes smaller. It is smallest when the paper is held perpendicular to the beam of light. We all know that the earth is spherical in shape, and due to its curvature, the sun rays that travel towards the earth are not perpendicular at all the places on the earth. Sun rays travel in a straight line and are parallel to each other. As earth is spherical in shape, the rays of the sun are not perpendicular to all the parts of the earth's surface. Sun rays are perpendicular near the equator. They become more and more slant as we go further away from the equator towards the poles, that is the North Pole and the South Pole. This leads to unequal distribution of heat received from the sun, resulting in decreasing temperature from the equator to the north and the south poles. Based on the distribution of temperature, the earth can be divided into torrid, temperate and frigid zones, or tropical, temperate and polar region. The torrid zone or the tropical zone stretches from 23 degree 30 minutes north latitude to 23 degree 30 minutes south latitude. Temperate zone stretches from 23 degree 30 minutes latitude up to 66 degree 30 minutes latitude in both north and southern hemisphere. Frigid zone or polar region. It stretches from 66 degree 30 minutes latitude up to 90 degree latitude in both northern and southern hemisphere. Though latitude is the main factor, there are other factors also which influence the distribution of temperature. However, their effects are limited to a particular region. These factors are as follows: nearness to the sea, continentality, height above the mean sea level, physical setup of a region, cloud cover, winds, vegetation cover, urbanization and industrialization. Land and water gets heated due to the sun rays. Latter, both land and water radiate the heat they have observed to the surroundings. Due to this, the air closer to the surface of land and water gets heated first. Later, the heat gets transferred vertically upward to the adjacent layers of air. Hence, the layer of air near the land and water surface is hotter. The temperature of air goes on decreasing as one moves higher above up the surface. Due to this, the temperature near the sea level is higher and it decreases in the mountainous regions. As I explained before, land and water get heated due to the sun's rays and radiate this heat to the surroundings. Due to this, the air closer to the surface of the land and water gets heated first. Later, the heat gets transferred vertically upward to the adjacent layers of air. The temperature of air goes on decreasing as one moves higher up the surface. Hence, when the air near the sea level is hotter than that on the mountainous region. At the same time, the temperature of the air in the coastal region is lower during the day and warmer during the night. Due to the heating of the sea water in the coastal regions, the water vapor gets mixed with the air and holds the heat in it for a longer time. Hence, the air in the coastal region is moist and warm. The temperature of the air in the continental areas is warmer during the daytime and lower at night. Due to the absence of water vapor in the continental region, the air there is dry. This results in the sharp difference in the air temperature during day and night. Hence, the climate is equable in coastal region, while it is extreme in the continental region. Let us carry out this experiment given in the textbook to see the difference in the heating and cooling of land and water. Take two pots of the same size and fill them with the water equally as shown in the figure above. At sunrise, keep one of the pots inside the house and the other one outside. See that it remains in the sun all the time as shown above. In the afternoon, walk barefooted on the floor inside the house and feel the temperature of the floor. Feel the temperature of the water in the pot inside. perform the same activity outside the house and get the feel of temperature of land and water kept in the sun. You must have realized that land cools down earlier than the water. The water kept outside in the sun is still a little warm. Due to this difference in the heating and cooling of land and water, the air over the land gets heated faster and also becomes cooler rapidly. The air over the water gets heated slowly and also loses heat in a slower manner. So, as I told you, in the coastal areas, because of the heating of seawater, water vapor gets mixed in the air, and this water vapor holds the heat in the air. As a result, the air in the coastal area remains moist and warm. Conditions in the continental areas are opposite. As water vapor is absent, the air remains dried, and this leads to sharp difference in the day and night temperature. The difference in the maximum and minimum temperature of a day is called diurnal range of temperature. I hope you have understood this explanation, children. This lesson will be continued in our next part of the video. Thank you.